Should you make time now for time now, or should you wait till later? Let's find out right now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Our Past, and I'm here to talk to you about Time Now, which is coming to theaters and digitally on October 26, 2021. It's a coming-of-age story that has a little bit more sinister aspects than I was expecting, and it deals with grief and coming home and also growing into your own. I'm going to talk to you about the film, three things I liked, three things I didn't like, and then go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in this review. If you don't want to know anything about the film, get out now. But if you have the time now to learn about time now and you don't care about spoilers, then let's keep going. So in time now, you have Jenny, who is returning home to Detroit after leaving for an extended period of time. You don't really know why at the start. It's a very mysterious film at the start. It's a slow burning story. There's a lot of family drama. All you know is that Jenny has come back after her brother died. So it seems like she's going to help out with the family and also help to settle her brother's estate, that kind of stuff. But it's been a while, so a lot of the film is also her reconnecting with people and reconnecting with the city. The film has this. It's set in Detroit and it has this overall message of like Detroit now being a very different city from where she left, and there's some parallels in her personality and the city itself that come through in the movie. But so part of it is her doing that, and also part of it is her meeting people that her brother knew and interacted with to try to get some more information about his death and try to figure out what happened. So the first thing I really liked is Claudia Black and the kid. Claudia Black plays her aunt Joan, and she is just amazing in this film. I loved her character. She has this levity that comes in. The film has a lot of very serious subject matter and kind of airs more on the serious side of things. And so Claudia Black's character just can pop in with these funny jokes or these little asides where she injects some humor and levity into this serious subject matter. And it was really fun to see, and it felt very natural. Like her character was a little bit goofy, and especially when she was with Jenny's kid. In those instances, it was a lot of fun to see because she would kind of joke with him or do things that you would expect an aunt to do with her kid. There's one scene where she gives him chocolate and whatnot, and then when Jenny gets in there, he's wired up on sugar, and so things like that were really fun to see and just did give the film some natural breaks to some of the serious drama. The second thing I loved is the cinematography. It's for an indie film, it is really, really well done cinematography. You got some really beautiful shots of the city. You have some really great drone shots that kind of follow the cars. There's a lot of cars in this movie. There's a lot of driving because it's set in Detroit, and so you have these really great drone shots that follow the cars. You have some really great scenes of characters talking in the cars themselves. You also just have some really high quality camera work, some really great angles, and some really great shots of the city. And so that was something that instantly popped out to me, especially at the start of the film. And the third thing I really loved is the opening. The opening is mysterious. It doesn't tell you what's going on. It's slow burning. You kind of have to work for the characters. I really love the opening, and it hooked me right at the start. So things I didn't love. The first is the makeup. There's a few characters that have died, and Jenny has kind of, I don't know, visions or flashbacks or at least hallucinations during the film where she sees them, or they kind of show up in her vision, and the makeup just didn't look that great. There's one of the characters, one of her brothers has this kind of like flaky white makeup on him. I guess it's to make it look like a corpse or sinister, but it looks kind of like someone who is like playing at Halloween. It didn't look that natural to me. And there's a little trickle of blood which lets you know that he's dead, but given what we find out later about how he died, that little trickle of blood didn't do it for me. It didn't look natural, and also given how he died, there would be a lot more blood. Same with there's a scene where we find out a little bit more about what happened to Jenny's other brother who died, and that also had makeup that just didn't look that realistic. And that's the film itself does a really good job setting the tone and setting up this environment. And so to see these little things like that, especially on some of the more sinister aspects or dramatic aspects, it just didn't look natural. It didn't look right. It kind of pulled me out of the film then. The second thing I didn't love are the sinister aspects of the film. The film has this really, it almost feels like two films, to be honest, because there is a like dramatic, slow burn family drama aspect where there is nothing kind of supernatural, nothing sinister, but it's just good, mysterious family drama, slow burn coming of age. I really enjoy that kind of film. And then there's also some like more sinister aspects where Jenny has visions of her brother, and sometimes she'll like see someone that's kind of off in the distance, just kind of standing there like a dark figure. Um, and the thing is, those didn't really do much for the overall story for me, especially the dark figure thing. It happened a couple times. I think it's maybe supposed to be like her guilt over her brother, but when it happened, the character just kind of stood there and then disappeared. Like it never attacked her, it never spoke to her, she never got really any realizations from it. It just kind of it happened a couple times and it was just there, and then she would blink a few times and then it would disappear. Same with the visions. The visions, again, I don't think they accomplished what they were supposed to. I didn't feel much more connected to the people that she saw. I didn't feel like I knew more about their story. You get a little hint, like, you know, you find out that one of her brothers is dead, or you assume that because of the way that his makeup is done. But you don't really get much insight into why or what happened or anything like that. You find out later in a flashback, in a very kind of obscure flashback, what actually did happen. But again, these visions the overall sinister aspects of this film just didn't really do it for me, and I thought that they actually kind of hurt this film. I thought this film could have been better if it was more on the dramatic side, less on this kind of supernatural side. And the last thing I didn't love is the ending, and I'm going to go into that right now. So if you don't want to know how this film ends, get out now. I've already spoiled some things, but this will spoil the film. So um, the big ending reveal is, so Jenny's there trying to find out what happened to her brother, and eventually she finds out that her brother had a friend, Kash, who's a rapper or an aspiring rapper. He's talented and he has a following in Detroit, and it sounds like he's about to break, at least getting a bigger following, maybe break nationally. And so Jenny sees him and goes to a party and tries to seduce him, I think, to try to figure out what happened to her brother, try to get closer to him. I mean, he's an attractive person, so maybe she just wants to, maybe she needs some companionship, but I think she really is trying to get information about her brother. So eventually she kidnaps him at gunpoint and makes him drive to this secluded area, which, again, this is a very weird thing for Jenny to do. There is a gun that we see earlier in the film. It was her brother Gonzo's gun that she finds. I think maybe this is the gun that her other brother killed himself with. I'm not certain on that. But so there is, she has this gun. The gun is not a big surprise. The fact that she uses it to kidnap Kash did seem to come out of nowhere, because before that she hadn't really done anything that extreme to figure out what had happened. She called her brother's girlfriend, and they had a discussion, and she had tried to talk with Kash about it, but she hadn't done anything to this level. And I didn't really understand why she jumped to this level. It felt like there was something that she could have maybe come organically. Maybe she could have gotten him drunk, something less intense. But she kidnaps him at gunpoint, makes him drive to it's a factory or somewhere fairly secluded, and there, at gunpoint, she makes Kash tell her what happened to his brother. And it seems like the story is they were drinking. Her brother Gonzo, shouldn't have driven home, couldn't have driven home, and so Kash drove him home. And while they were driving, Kash blacked out. I wasn't certain. It might have been drugs, but I wasn't certain if it was drugs or alcohol or exhaustion. I don't know exactly, but he blacked out and they ran into a pole. And so Kash wakes up. He's not that injured, but he sees that Gonzo is dead. So then Kash takes Gonzo. I think he kind of checks to make sure he's dead, and then moves him into the driver's seat and kind of runs, or then he goes into the passenger seat to try to alleviate the blame and whatnot. So again, this seems like an accident. It seems like a bad decision. Like he shouldn't have, probably moved Gonzo over, but it just seems like an accident that's tragic. But it doesn't seem like Kash is a bad person because of this. It just seems like he made a mistake. He got in an accident. He turned out okay. Gonzo died, and that's kind of what happened. Like, accidents happen. It's not it shouldn't have happened. You should have probably taken an Uber home or whatever, the equivalent at the time was. But it did happen, and it's tragic, but it doesn't seem like the type of sinister thing that then he pays for. And this is where the film kind of goes off the rails to me. So then Jenny is still holding the gun after Kash has told her what happened. And he kind of goes into like, what is she doing? She has so much to live for. She has her son that she has to think about, her family. And he starts to walk away. And then Jenny shoots him, like right in the chest with the gun. Again, this felt like an escalation that I don't know, it just didn't fit well with me. It kind of, I think in my notes I was like, what that happened? There's a few reasons why I was really surprised by this. A, it seemed to escalate out of nowhere. Jenny was not violent or that impulsive. I mean, she didn't have her life together, but she wasn't like violent or impulsive before this. And this was a very big event that seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. And again, like the reasons that she shot him, they didn't seem to line up with the action that she took. So first, like I said, it did seem like an accident. Like, not Kash shouldn't have driven, but he drove, he blacked out. Gonzo died. It seemed like an accident. Gonzo probably should have been wearing his seatbelt. I don't think he was. And so it's tragic, but it doesn't feel like Kash is completely to blame here. Or even if he is, it's not like he intentionally did it. It was a bad decision and it happened and it's tragic. But those things do happen in life, and it doesn't seem like Kash should then pay for it with his own life. And second, Kash he didn't seem to feel bad about it. Like he didn't. It didn't seem like he was like gloating about it, or that he like had any bad blood towards Gonzo, or he might have threatened him or had a reason to get rid of him. It just felt like Kash made a mistake. He did a terrible thing. A terrible thing happened, and he did feel bad for it. And again, it didn't seem like something that he should pay for with his life. And the final thing, and this is what struck me kind of the most, is like Jenny spends a lot of the time in this movie with her son. She's not a great parent by any means, but her son is, clearly loves her. He's cute. He's enjoyable. He's very funny. He's one of the highlights of this film. And the fact that Jenny would just throw this all away to take revenge on someone that didn't really seem to deserve revenge just felt weird. Like the fact that she would throw away her entire family, and Kash even brings this up, so it's front and center in your mind that she would throw away her family for this momentary revenge against someone that doesn't really seem to need revenge. It doesn't seem like Gonzo was wronged that much. And so it just felt like it came out of nowhere to me. And so that whole thing kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. The movie then ends with Jenny in her home, like crying, saying like it'll be okay, as the police are knocking on her door. So you kind of get the sense that she's not going to have a great future because of this. And again, it doesn't feel like there was any reason for her to be in this situation. So again, the ending kind of soiled it. That was my overall take of this film. I didn't love, I loved the opening parts and up until about the middle. After that is when, more of the sinister aspects, more of the makeup comes in, and then this ending, it just kind of soured the whole movie experience for me. So my recommendation is to pass on it. I think it does a lot really well, especially at the start, but that end just seems to come out of nowhere, and it doesn't really fit with her character, at least in my mind. Like, I haven't gone through a ton of grief, so I don't know how people act when they have these types of situations. So maybe this is kind of an accurate portrayal of what could happen, but it didn't speak to me. And so my general recommendation on this is to pass. But hey, if this sounds interesting, if this sounds like something you'd like to watch, then go ahead and watch it. Like, let me know if my view of grief is wrong, or if this is something that speaks to you. I'd love to hear it. Leave comments in the comment section, and I'd love to have more discussions about this. So that's time now. It's available digitally on October 26, 2021, which is now. This is posting after that, so it's available now digitally and in theaters. You can check it out in theaters if it's nearby, or digitally if you want to just watch it in the comfort of your own home. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And check out my other content. I have an interview with Spencer King, the director of this film. He was a fascinating person to talk to, and he really went into some of the aspects of this film, some of the inspiration for this film, and also some of the Detroit aspects. This film it had some actors that were from outside of Detroit, but most of the core of this film and the crew itself were all Detroit based. So that was interesting to talk to him about that, and also how Detroit has changed over time since he kind of grew up there. So that was fun to talk to as well. But I also have other reviews, other interviews, unboxing videos, and a weekly movie recommendation. So thanks so much for watching, and take care.